Hello, welcome to Tranquillitas Healing Hub. So happy for everyone to be here with us today with a little bit of storytelling. How about we start off on how our week's been? You tell me about yours first, Peter, because
Okay, Alicia.
I'm happy
Alicia,
to
I've
first.
had a wonderful week, but I've got a very exciting day on Friday morning because my husband's coming home from Darwin, where he's been for the last 4 months. So it'll be so good to have my grounder home. I've had a wonderful week, and it started with Sunday lunchtime. I was invited by my friend Rashmi to attend a birthday celebration of the birth of the founder of the Baha'i faith over at a beautiful woman's home in Inaloo. And when I met her, she was just so shining, a woman of peace. And I walked into the... Oh, first of all, Rashmi and I got lost going there. I get lost in a bathtub, and I think my friend gets lost in a bathtub too. But we eventually found it and walked into this beautiful lady's house, and the peace that just flowed and the joy that flowed from every member who was there of the Baha'i faith that was so full of joy and peace. It just radiated and the energy permeated, which brought me on another high.
Can I ask, what's this Baha'i faith?
Baha'i faith?
Baha'i faith?
Well, Baha'i faith was really founded in 1847 he was born. And it was a very, very much similar to the story that was shown on the television in celebration.
Yeah.
It just reminded so much of the Christian faith.
Okay.
Of like the beginning with John the Baptist, and then the story of what Jesus taught us in terms of how to live on this earth. And reach that higher level of consciousness.
Yes.
And this faith was founded in the 1847, and I really they lived the virtues. They put the virtues in action. And it was just wonderful to be amongst those people. We were all one, and it doesn't matter whether you're a Hindu, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Baha'i faith. We're all one.
Because our heart's the same way.
The same way, yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah. So we had a wonderful afternoon there, and then I went up and had dinner with the family, which was great. And then, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, met lovely people and lots of talk and people excited about the Healing Hub and storytelling. And I met a little old Greek lady yesterday who is very excited about it, and she's got some wonderful stories to tell on her journey and post-war Germany, and what it was like living there, and how she came to come to Australia and to Sydney post-war, and just her life here. A wonderful story. How, she was in Germany, and how people from Jewish people actually hid and looked after her, because it was very hard, her coming into Germany. She's a beautiful woman. And we had a lovely couple of hours here together. And last night I went with one of the directors of Healing Insights, Nandita de Cruz, and my friend Rashmi to a presentation that was being presented at the University of WA Psychology Department by a professor who's got Aboriginal heritage, and it was called The Art of Healing. And my heart was beating so fast, because it's exactly everything she had on the board was exactly what
you have in your heart.
have in my heart,
Yeah.
and what I've been writing about
Yes,
and saying
everything you've worked
since
for.
2001.
Yep.
And so to see it being presented, the traditional or the art of healing, and particularly amongst Aboriginal people,
of course, yeah.
through the psychology department
Yeah,
at
that's
the
awesome
University
seeing
of
it
WA,
there.
it was just amazing.
Yeah.
And again, absolutely motivates me
Yeah.
to have healing in its purest form through storytelling, and into not only storytelling, but to bring healing to balance through healing and through the actually complementary medical model and through complementary therapies and medicine, to integrate it with the mainstream medical model,
Well, because
it's already
balance.
happening here in Australia.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
We are already utilising complementary medicine, and I understand that the government can't quantify it because we're all individual and everything works. One Reiki will work for one person and not for another person, and I can understand all the minutiae of it. But for crying out loud, like, this is a holistic approach to healing, and if you are not teaching the new students that they can hug a patient and give them that compassion, the love and care and compassion, and that will help them more than a Panadol. That's the whole approach.
Yep.
And it's amazing that you are being brought out now with all of this knowledge behind you, all these years of collating all of this knowledge out and seeing it now happening around you. Isn't that so beautiful?
Oh, it was just brought tears to my eyes. And so we stopped and we spoke to the dean or the head of the school of that department and some research people, and we'll be in contact with them.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
so
Yay.
it's pretty exciting because, as I've said in my submission to for the talk I'm giving in Canada, we have to have this paradigm shift.
Yes.
To bring the balance between healing and into the biomedical model, so it's not like a seesaw, because unless we have that balance of the CAMS and the medical model only, nothing's going to change, in my opinion.
You're right. They need to interrelate. It's that holistic approach, isn't it? You get the science background, and then you've got the mental sciences as well, and they need to have that flow through. That's the balance you're talking about. Yeah.
And I think because you've experienced this in the health system yourself, that's brought you where you are today.
My journey's been amazing. But
and I'm dying to hear what you have to say today.
And, yes, because you've been asking me about my story for such a long time. So, and I've had other people ask me about my story, and I'll be honest, it's a very long story, because I was explaining it to my father this morning. I have packed so many different experiences into my short 36 years of life that I've learned hard and fast. And thankfully now I've got the ability to have all this information or memories coming to me, and I cannot panic about it anymore. I can actually sit there and unthread what needs to be attended to and what needs to be worried about and what doesn't, what works for me and what doesn't. But that has only been in the last year where I've started to find that balance. So let's start with where the unbalance happened.
Okay, so what we'll do first of all is just, I think, read the opening to the memoirs of a girl called Peta.
Yes.
connection, disconnection, reconnection,
Yeah.
which currently is in the hands of the editor. And once editing's finished, then off to the publishers. So I don't know when the book will be published, and I feel so free that I have that journey.
You put the manuscript off, and you're just waiting for it to manifest.
To blossom.
Now. Yeah, isn't that beautiful?
Yeah. So now, through storytelling and through telling my journey of life, that I am so free, and I can share with you parts of the journey of life through this medium, I guess.
Yeah, this is. That's it. This is a medium. This is our way.
So what Alicia's going to start with this. Life is a journey.
Yep. Good. All right. So this poem, life is a journey. Birth is a beginning, and death is a destination. And life is a journey from childhood to maturity and youth to age, from innocence to awareness and ignorance to knowing, from foolishness to discretion, and then perhaps to wisdom, from weakness to strength, or strength to weakness, and often back again, from health to sickness and back, we pray to health again, from offence to forgiveness, and loneliness to love, from joy to gratitude, from pain to compassion, and grief to understanding, from fear to faith, from defeat to defeat to defeat, until looking backwards or ahead, we see that victory lies, not at some high place along the way, but in having made the journey stage by stage, a sacred pilgrimage. Birth is a beginning, and death is a destination, a sacred pilgrimage to everlasting life. That was given with permission from the New Union Prayer Book, from the Central Conference of the American Rabbis. Yeah.
So again, there's that connection
across the religions,
and
that
the faith.
Heart-based is the way to go, isn't it?
Beautiful. When I first read that, I thought, that's the first page of the memoirs.
Yeah, because that's exactly right.
And being 73 next birthday, that just seems so fitting to say that with the death of ego, that I am on the voyage now to everlasting life.
Can I just add something in here?
Sure.
That's going to be, I don't know, it'll be understanding to some. Your 73rd birthday, so 7 and 3 together is 10, and you drop the 0 off, it's a 1, and a 1 in numerology marks new beginnings. Okay? It was meant to happen this year.
Oh, it's so exciting.
Yeah, it is, eh? Yeah. Oh, I think that's what keeps me going, is okay, so this week, I'm going to start with this week, because I could probably sit and do a video and have little chapters come up about XYZ events that have happened, because I could probably fill out a few manuscripts of what's happened in my life, as I know Peta has done, because we go into full detail when we're explaining things, as storytellers do. We want to paint the entire picture for you. So I'm just going to paint a shorter picture of what my last week has been like. This last week has been huge, because my auntie passed away yesterday. Now, unbeknownst to her, unbeknownst to the family, and only just found out so we know that the doctors tell us that she was battling breast and lung cancer for 8 years, untreated. Unnoticed, unrecognised, had gone in for operations and things like that, and nothing was picked up. So anyway, my auntie had disappeared in the weight and that over the years, but because she had an eating disorder, we thought that it was that's just the way it was, but it turns out that her body was fighting a battle that we had no idea about. And so about a month ago, she went into hospital, so we thought to get some work done on her back, and then the news was given to us about a week after that, oh no, it's not just her back, she's got cancer, and we're trying to figure out where it is. So we went in this stasis period of not knowing where it came from, if she could survive treatment, if we could fatten her up.
How old was she, Alicia?
Well, so I'm 36 and she was 54.
A young woman. Starting to reach that time in her life of her journey to becoming a senior.
Gone. Right? And you know, like, I suppose because she didn't know that she had cancer until she was in the hospital, and then it was like, well, really had to come to terms with it very quickly, and I think it's really hit home just how easy and how quick something like that can take. And it's in those moments, those last moments, where your grace and your compassion come out, and you see the colours in others around you that you hadn't seen before. They're so beautiful. People just absolutely melt when they know that someone is on their last days. Nothing really matters. Everything is just about being happy. And then, of course, there's the after effect of her not being there. The physical presence not being there anymore. And as I was trying to grieve, and I say trying to grieve because my higher self's going, it's okay. She's up with the rest of the family having a ball right now, getting a massage by God. Why are you upset, And I'm like, but the ego part of me wants to cry, I need to grieve, I need to get this out. But you're telling me I don't need to grieve because everybody should be happy. But I'm not. So how do I deal with this? So I let it come, and I go, let it come and go. And as those waves of sadness and the memories would come flooding in, I'd let that feeling come in, and I'd feel it with my heart. I'd let my throat close up. I'd let the tears fall, but then I'd leave the memory. Because if I stayed in that memory, it was like asking for that pain to stay there. And that's the toxicity that breeds things like PTSD, and I know that very, very well. So recognising now, being able to recognise now in my awareness that it is the right place to grieve, but don't stay in that grief for too long. Make sure that you come back up out of there and see the angels in the clouds. You know they're there. In your heart, make it out that they're there. Find the beauty in the flowers around you. Find the life that's breathing around you, and sink yourself into it in the simplicity of that, and it will help the energy of the grief turn to joy, and it sets the rebalancing back in the emotion wave. Instead of being crash back down, you'll slowly start to come back up out of that turbulent washing machine of surf, because it's going to keep happening. The funeral's coming up. I've just been asked to write a eulogy, for my auntie. So thinking about writing it, I'm getting sad, and I'm like, well, no, because it won't do her any justice, will it? Because she wants me to be happy. So I'm constantly coaching myself, bringing myself back up, and being able to talk and share my voice to Peta, to the camera, and to you and whoever's listening, normalises it for me.
Can I just share with you a story?
Yeah.
In early 2000, a doctor, a very kind doctor, and a social worker referred a patient to me in Karratha, as when I was director of nursing there, to help prepare her for the acceptance of her death coming. death, and because she was told she only had 6 weeks to live, and that she was not in acceptance. So I said, I'd be honoured to journey with her. Well, we journeyed together for the most wonderful, wonderful 8 months.
8 months?
8 months.
You kept her going for 8 months?
She would come every single week for an hour with me, where I would give her energy healing.
Yeah.
And we would talk, and we became really close. And she rang me one Saturday afternoon, and she said to me, "Peta, the tunnel and the light are so strong, I'm ready now." So I rang up the doctor and asked him to admit her into the palliative care room at Nickel Bay Hospital in Karratha. And she had the most blessed week, and I had a very blessed week with her in hospital. And the day before, she went into a coma the day after her husband's birthday, because she was hanging in back. And the day she went into a coma, her husband came and asked me if I would do her funeral service and write her eulogy for her. And I immediately said yes.
Yeah.
And then when he left, I thought, oh my God, how am I going to do this?
Yeah, no worries. Reality.
So with her husband, my husband, a friend of mine who was a nun, and 2 of her best friends, we sat on our back veranda in Karratha, and I prepared this together, everyone putting in the stories and things like that, and I wrote this eulogy. And it was the most beautiful service that I have ever attended, and it was done in a very special park at sundown as the sun was going out over the ocean.
Best time to do it.
And they played there was a bagpipe player there. She was from New Zealand.
How lovely.
And the bagpipe player played. I can't remember the song, but it was just so moving and heartwarming, and I was so absolutely honoured to do that. So you'll write a beautiful eulogy. I just know. I just had to share that story.
I'm glad you did, because I really appreciate what you said, because it struck me that, yes, as much as we want to help, and then we're like, oh, I don't know if I'm able to, and you were able to gather support around you, and through the storytelling and talking to other people, you were able to create something that honoured that woman, with the help of community, with the help of the collective. You did it together, so you pulled yourself out of your anxiety and went, we'll do it together. Let's share this, and everybody would feel like they had that input in that funeral. You spoke it, but everybody had an input in it, and that's just, we don't own any one thing. It's free for everybody. It's a free society, and I just love that. That bringing together after the moments of death. It's so amazing, isn't it? Yeah, being able to really appreciate that, what you have right in front of your eyes right now in this moment is so important.
And the fact that I had been able to journey with her for 8 months and really get to know her and love her, and
it shows the strength of you too, because there's a lot of people out there that find it very hard to be around someone that's dying, because they just really don't know what to say.
Well, death is part of life.
It is. You've got to normalise it. You've got to normalise. Like my 8-year-old daughter said to me, "Mummy, don't be sad. You know it's a circle of life."
Wow.
That Auntie Lillian had to go. Her body was broken.
And she's 8.
And she's 8. She was there when I went into view. I was half an hour late getting to the hospital. My mum passed away from emphysema and COPD in 2014. And we got to the hospital half an hour late, which is typical of me being late everywhere. I was even late to her funeral, and as I got up to say the eulogy, I'm like, "Sorry, Mum, I'm late," but, you know, what do you expect? So, you know, I got there late. So when we went in, I took Imogen in with me to see Mum's corpse. Because I say it like that because Mum's spirit was not there. She left the room. She was out with the family, out there with where they were grieving, you know, like, but I also know now that she was up in God's arms doing the crossover. And, you know, like, I know that's where my Auntie Lillian is, and I know that there's etiquette. I'm not to call on her until she sends me the sign. And today's card from her deck, I switched from subject to subject, so I'm wanting you now. Today's card, I bought a deck of cards for just me and my Auntie Lillian. Every day I pulled her a card based on the number that she told me. Well, today is the second day she's not with us. And yesterday was divine timing, the day she died. And today was, I asked my dad, so my dad's driven up from Albany, which is about 6 hours away, so I asked him before he left, what's the number that you want to choose? And so I did it for him, and I pulled the card out, and it was, and I'd just been talking to him about, don't call Lillian yet, but you need to start looking out for signs, because the spirits want to talk to you too, Dad, because they know that you know that they're there, but you're too, like, you know, shy to say, come on, hello, give me a sign. And then I pulled this card out, ask for a sign.
I could story tell all day, but I won't, because I've got another story of that to share with you.
Okay,
but
good.
I'll do it another day.
And I mean, that's the thing. See, once we get storytelling, we can continue on each day, and this is what we're going to be learning, is that our boundaries on storytelling amounts. And I can see that we've been talking for, if I have a close look there, 27 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So that's pretty good. That's a good little conversation. So maybe we should wrap this up with, have you got something that you would like to say?
I'd like to share with you something that was put out some years ago by the American Holistic Nurses Association. And it's a beautiful a guide, I guess, for living. And the guide is Nurture the Self, from A to Z. Accept yourself. Be present in the moment. Connect with nature. Discover the divine within you. Empower yourself. Face your fears. Give generously. Have unrestricted belly laughs. Indulge without reservation. Journal often. Keep good memories. Very appropriate for today's conversation.
Yeah.
Love yourself. Maintain wellness. Nurture your spirit. Open your heart. Play often. Quiet your mind. Receive with gratitude. Seek truth. Trust yourself and others. Use your gifts and talents freely. Vent emotion with compassion. Work like you play. Extenuate the positive. Yes to life. Zest for living in the holistic way.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Blessed.
So we're going to close up now. I'd like to say, have a week of just beautiful non-conditional love and love yourself first. Have a beautiful week full of light and just allow the flow of the life force to flow and your heart to beat in joy. So with that, I will hand over to Alicia to say goodbye, and we will see you next week.
So thank you very much, everybody, for coming to listen to us chat today. Look, if you've got any comments or questions, or you just want to get in touch with us, you can do so via the links I'll put in the message with this video, but also via our Facebook and all that. But look, just know that what we do is sharing us. And if in that any of these moments it resonates with you and it brings you joy, or maybe answers some sort of questions that you hadn't sought to ask yet, then that's our job done. We're really here to help share our light and how we've gotten through our life, and hopefully, just let that ripple out, and hopefully something will help someone else out there. So if you've got something that you think would help others, please by all means get in contact with us. No pressure. Love you all, always. And on that note, bye.
Bye bye.